Richard Beach here from SonicState.com. I'm at Music MESSE 2015 at the Moog booth. We've been up all night debating whether it's Minifooger or Minifooger because we've been told to say Moog. And we haven't really got to an answer on that. So what I'm actually going to do is ask Cyril how he pronounces the names of the products.
Well, I would have to say Minifooger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So we were right then?
Yeah.
Moog Minifooger. That's right.
Depends on which one you chose.
Okay. And right now we're going to look at the flange. We've already done a video of the chorus, so now we're focusing just on the new flange pedal. And there's now 7 Minifoogers in the range.
Yes, 7. I just had to count them.
Fair enough. Okay, so let's focus on this guy in the middle. Can you take us through the top panel and just, give us a brief overview?
So once again, the flange starts with a kind of pedal design for the guitar player, classic flange, but then kind of has, expands sonically in all directions. So it has the classic flange features, and I'll start with the most basic flange there. This flange has your time from a very short flange all the way up to very, very long time constant. So if we put it in the middle, we've got feedback or regeneration, just like on the chorus. So if you have very little feedback, it's a very subtle effect, and a lot of feedback. You can really hear those hear those harmonics swirling around.
And where's the depth? The depth isn't even that high there. It feels
Yeah.
like there's a huge, huge range.
Right, so that's a good segue talking about the modulation section. You've got an oscillator with a rate and a depth, so let's turn the depth really up high. So like all of our effects, they go from very subtle to kind of over the top, so you can get kind of... So that's not exactly the typical use of a flange, but it sure is fun to play around with. Yeah. But let's focus more on the kind of more traditional flange sounds. So here's a typical flange, but with a lot of feedback. Let's kind of turn it back so it's more subtle. Okay. And again, just to mention that these can be stereo. If you take a stereo Y jack, a standard jack out of the output, it makes a beautiful stereo image, which is really great if you got 2 small amps on stage and want to spread your sound out a bit. Now this switch here, this gives you an inverted phase, which gives you kind of a little bit more of a vocal quality.
For the guys at home, can I just switch between the 2 modes while you play? Yeah. Okay.
Let's do a little less modulation, then you might hear it a little bit better. You hear it's more vocal. Yeah. You hear the difference? Yeah. So that kind of gives two different kind of voicings on the pedal. 2 different types of flange voice. This is kind of a more subtle, and this is kind of a more deeper. Yeah. And as with any classic flange, it goes really great with drive. So you want to. And also, as with all our Moog Minifooger, you've got a control voltage input, which we're going to use expression pedals. So, so here I'm actually sweeping through the time. So if we start with the real low time here, and make a. Or if we turn our modulation completely off, now we're just controlling with the foot pedal. Here it's sweeping through the harmonics.
A real sweet spot somewhere in the middle there on that sweep.
All flanges, and that actually kind of depends a little bit on what note you're playing, because it's harmonically related. So that's the nice thing about a foot pedal. If you're playing in this key and you want to kind of find that one little spot, and that can be your spot then to modulate around. So if you want that kind of deep chesty, but if you want to find a brighter spot, it's a little thinner and more ringy because you're at a different part on the filter. But you can still modulate all around it if you want. And it was all of these effects you can, So all the effects have, allow you to do fun stuff. There you go.
I just want to stay here and play around with it all day now. That's the problem.
Yeah, and no, well, that's the joy of them. And there's so much you can do with them. But the important part, especially being a guitar pedal, is that it's very easy just to kind of very quickly dial in a classic. Just a beautiful chord, so you put a little delay on it. And, they all work so well together. Put a little tremolo. Again, very good with the drive. Gives it that kind of vocal. With the drive, you can. Put the beat on here for the. So that's with quite a bit of flange on there. Hear the harmonics.
Really, for small footprint pedals,
yeah,
they invite a lot of creativity. It
yeah.
feels like.
Yeah, that's kind of the design goal of the pedals, and why we love them so much is we really want them to be very intuitive and very kind of in the pocket for the classic guitar uses of the pedals. We want to expand them all with the control voltages. It's really fun to take other control processors and like us, put a square wave into the drive with the filter on peak, and you can get these almost synth-like sounds. And all the pedals, the fact that they're control voltage ready it means that all these pedals can do all sorts of things. For instance, on your tremolo, if you add control voltage, you can actually get that going into like ring mod territory, and so the idea is that guitar players should be able to get their classic tones out of these pedals. But then as they have fun and explore, they should find, in all the dimensions on the knobs, areas that maybe they didn't think about using and finding some really fun creative tones. And really being able to kind of sculpt new guitar tones. And hopefully they all work together to kind of create a really creative set for you.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it. So thank you very much for giving us a demo. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is the flange, but we also have a video of the chorus up on the website. Thank you very much for watching. I feel like this has been a bit of a treat, really, as our first visit at Music MESSE 2015. So thank you for watching. Thank you for demoing. See you guys soon.